We're in the middle of a series on building this rocket called the SpaceShipTwo-ish. It's a free plan from Apogee Components, and I wanted to show you what it's going to take to build and fly this rocket on your own.
Welcome to Advanced Construction Videos, where we show you how to tackle rocketry building techniques and more. On our website, we sell kits, motors, building supplies, and electronics. So come and learn, shop, build, and fly when you visit us at apogeerockets.com.
At this point, I have cut all the fins out, and it took me just a little bit over an hour. It was tedious, but you can do it. So our next step is just to peel the paper off. Now would be a good time to also sand the surface. So you can take your sanding tee, and I've got some 320 grit sandpaper here. I want to just make the surface nice and smooth on all the fins. We are going to paper the fins. By papering, we're going to put a skin of paper on both sides of the fins. And the reason for this is to make them stronger. This rocket has 29 millimeter motors in it, so it can take some high thrust motors. And we would just want to be sure that the fins are going to be able to stand up to it. So start by sanding everything. I'm also going to, most of these other fins are single fins, but the main wing fins, these pieces here out of the 1/4 inch balsa wood, these have to be glued together. So this here is my root edge. You can see it's got a tab on it. And then this one right here also has a tab on it right here. So they go like this, like that. And you can see here is the outline of the nose cone. And then here is a body tube. And you can see that the body tube eventually is going to be slotted. I haven't slotted it yet. These Martin made for me because he thought I wanted to use them, but I wanted to actually cut them myself because I want to go through the same process that you would go through if you were building this, and you're not going to have access to laser cut tubes. But that slot will go right there, and then the rest of this will match up to that curvature there, like that. And then this piece will get glued on down here like that. But I think I'm not going to glue this piece on yet because I worry that if I glue it on now, I'm going to have a little notch right there. So I'm going to glue it on when I glue it to the tube and then sand that so that it's nice and even. So these have to be glued up. Got some wax paper here. You could also use just regular plastic, like a garbage bag or something like that. We just want to keep it from sticking to the table. And since I'm impatient, I'm going to use super glue. So find a bottle that's open. And this is some thick glue here. So I'm going to put a bead of glue here. And I put it on pretty thick, so I expect it to ooze out. And I want to make sure that this corner right here lines up. Everything else I think I can sand. And I can see the glue oozing out here on the top surface, which is good, which is okay. That also means it's oozing out on the bottom, which is why I have the wax paper here so that it doesn't stick to the table. And I'm really smashing these together. You know, since they're hand cut, the edges might not be perfectly, beveled, straight. So that's why I put the extra glue in there. And then I'm going to use some accelerator. kick that off. Let's do this side too. Okay, so that's one. Here's my other one right here. And I'm waiting to sand the surface on these until I got them glued together so that I have, you know, when I sand it, it's all nice and flat. Okay, so this edge is the root edge. And then I got to line up this edge here, like that. Okay. Okay. Oh, this side you can see. That's not good. Okay. So rather than filling that with super glue, I'm going to use wood filler for that. So I'm going to have to pause here and go get some wood filler and fill that seam. So this one wasn't so bad, but this one was worse. So I'm going to pause here and I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, I've got me some wood filler, and to apply this I'm just going to use some kind of spatula. I'm going to use a little razor blade, and I just want to take it and smush it into that crack as hard as I can to get it down as far into it. I'm not too worried about this being a structural problem because it's not going to bend this way. The wing, you know, you have the tube here and the tail here, and so the bending is this way. So I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, being a structural problem, that it's weak right there at that line. And then after we put the paper on there, that is going to make it a lot stronger anyway. So mostly this is so that the paper lays flat. That side's not bad. And then on this fin, this one wasn't that bad. Okay, so you want to kind of prop these up so that air can get to both sides while it's drying. And this will dry in about a half an hour, and then we can sand it. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and finish sanding all the other fins. And then we can start maybe slotting the tubes.